What's a shopping centre without any shops? Hi, I'm Dr. Jason Pallant. I'm a lecturer in marketing here at Swinburne, and I want to explore with you what the future of shopping centres is, given a lot of the challenges they've been facing, particularly during the recent COVID-19 pandemic. To understand the future of shopping centres, we need to first quickly understand where the industry has come from. The first thing we need to know is that Australia has the third highest amount of shopping centre space relative to our population in the world, behind only USA and Canada. What that means is we're spoilt for choice in a lot of areas of which shopping centres we should go to. And that means there's a lot of competition already within the sector. Now, combined with that, we've seen over the last few years that foot traffic has declined, which means people are not going to shopping centres as often as they are. People are shopping less and they're choosing to spend their time and their money on other things, particularly around experiences. And so as a result, over the last few years, what we've seen is that shopping centres have had to be innovative and change the way that they are interacting with shoppers to create a compelling reason to get people to not only visit shopping centres as a whole, but to visit their specific shopping centre. A lot of the ways that centres have been doing that is touching into this theme that we call the experience economy. And that is the idea of creating interesting and innovative and engaging experiences that you can only get in a particular place. And so we've seen shopping centres try to do that through things like restaurant precincts, entertainment zones, movie cinemas, all of those kind of engaging experiences that people could have. Now, of course, nobody really predicted that there would be a global pandemic, which would mean that retail stores had to shut and consumers were told to stay at home unless it was essential. That created a really big challenge for shopping centres because they did hold essential services like groceries and pharmacies, but most of their stores were closed. And it creates this really strange environment where a centre is open, but most of the shops within it are closed. Now that restrictions are decreasing, people are returning to shopping centres. The stats are showing that foot traffic is back up. But shopping centres are very different now. What we're noticing is things like hand sanitizer or people spraying sanitizer as you walk in, distancing markers on the floors so that people know where to go and how distant they need to spend from each other. Also things like food courts and seating being closed. And so this creates some really interesting questions of what are shopping centres going to look like in the future? Many retailers have already come out and said they're not going to be reopening as many stores as they had. Or if they are reopening their stores are going to look very different to take into account this new normal that we're all operating in. So what are shopping centres going to look like? Well, I think we need to expect in the short term a lot of the safety measures to stay. We're still going to be expected to sanitize our hands as we walk in. We're probably still not going to be able to sit close together with other people in food courts for a little while. There'll still be limits on the number of people that can be within any store. So don't be surprised if you're going to have to line up to get into where you want to go. But longer term, I think this actually presents a really interesting opportunity for shopping centres to innovate and think about what is their role in the community that they are in. How can they better embed themselves into their local community? Whether that is through experiential elements like we mentioned, whether it's through local community services or events, or whether it's with combining with local innovative producers or entrepreneurs within their area to showcase some of the things that their local community can offer. I think there's a real opportunity there for shopping centres to think about how they can use this massive amount of space that we have dedicated to shopping centres in Australia to be beyond simply places that we go to buy from shops that we can do online or we can do in lots of different areas, and create a really compelling and engaging reason to go to that particular place over all of our other options. And that comes down to embedding with that local community, creating a really engaging experience, and also trying to leverage some of the social aspects that we as humans really enjoy about being together, but of course in a physically distanced and safe way.